Existence Brewing.
Okay, Cosmic Kiddos, it's time for another Existence Brewing download.
I guess it's kind of where I'm at right now. Just trying to accept what you are and be okay with that. I think there's what we want to be. And then I also think there's what we're naturally inclined to be. And if what you're naturally inclined to be really isn't hurting anybody, including yourself, maybe it's time to stop fooling yourself and to just go with it. Because here's the thing. Modern life for a westernized person, like most of us probably are who are listening to this or who certainly are doing this podcast, it's filled with hypocrisy. And that's what's beginning to start to trip me up as I get older is, no, I won't like this because of these rat bastards who run it and are involved in it and and yet I kind of like that. That's a constant tripping mechanism. So, I'm constantly sneaking things, let's say, that you might hear me say I would otherwise just bash on a public forum like this. Could you find Jack possibly watching
Desperate Housewives?
Well, it doesn't go that deep. I'm going to say that, but maybe like when the Stanley Cup is happening, could he maybe just, in the gym, instead of just staring straight ahead, is he kind of peeking at the TV to see who won last night and it's because those are ingrained things. And it's just, it shows you if you're awake or you're awakening, and I'm not claiming to be fully awake, certainly, because to me that, I don't know if that ever happens in this experience. I'm not sure that you want to, because it might just be a big and you burn out or something. But the factions that run, well, it's true. I used to say that the only way that you become truly enlightened is to become light. That's the only way that you'll ever be fully enlightened is when you become light. And that's very abstract and no one knows what it means. And I honestly can't say I can put it into words, but I've actually visualized it. I've visualized okay,
like it.
Here's enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. You ready for mine?
What?
That's why I was laughing off mic. So when the pandemic was happening, and I know it was a weird time for everyone, and books are probably going to be written for decades. Well, our grandparents had the Great Depression, and we had the social distancing.
Yeah. I don't think the pandemic was great in the reaction to it, but I'm not sure that the actual pandemic was
terrible. We had to stay at home and do nothing and watch Tiger King all day. It was terrible. No, I mean, I was just thinking about something that I coined during that time of life, and that's why I say that a reference point is everything, but I'm so woke I can't even sleep.
Well, I think there's also something to be said for being awake or awakened to a degree and not woke, because I think woke, as we've learned, is a little different thing. In this political stream that we have that's running just full torrent at both spectrums on both poles is just, suck you into the whirlpool. And so, because I just feel like most people are in the middle of that, and we're stuck. I really do feel like most people are not in one of those extremes or the other. I think that I'd like to believe still that people are decent and honest and they really do their best, and they fuck up once in a while because everybody does, but it's not a big fuck up. It's not a grand thing like we're talking about with this sex trafficking and these, adrenochrome chugging and making children afraid so that people can get off. I mean, all this horrible stuff that our lives are filled with now on a daily basis. And, I think it's all part of the awakening process to the enemy and to the demons that, be they real or otherwise, drive these things to be done by certain people in our world. And, you've got to know the enemy. And so you've got to know what you're up against. And I think that's one of the things that we're being briefed right now as part of our experience here is, okay, look, you guys all go to Disneyland and you play badminton and you watch Tiger King, like you said, and you enjoy a good Hostess Twinkie and you have sex, and there's ways to prevent it from having children and ways to enhance your orgasm. And also you guys are checked out, and it's time that you got a little bit of an update, a reality thump about what's really going on in the world in certain places. And so here you go. And if you don't think you're tied to that to some measure, you're wrong.
We hope this download brewed up something for your existence. To find more, and for full episodes of Existence Brewing, check out the podcasts at existencebrewing.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts online.
Existence Brewing.